for me now, 1 knots. That's good.
Oh, good. I was just saying earlier that it never goes wrong at them. Seems to be working a treat.
There we are. Okay, we should hopefully be live, all being well.
Oh, let's see.
Hopefully. Just in time to see Dirk S. redact a message. Excellent.
Well, yeah, I've told him to watch his language.
Fair enough. Yeah.
In any language.
Yeah, indeed, absolutely. You have to watch these.
I can't believe you're wearing that. Oh, sorry, mate. I can't believe you're wearing that hoodie, Nick.
Well, it felt appropriate. It's not had very much use, and I thought that, you know, now that you can't really see it, actually. There we go.
I've just noticed there's a ghost on the wall behind me as well.
Halloween hangover.
I didn't put that there. It must have been my daughter.
Love that. Love that.
But it's a great hoodie, mate. It's great.
Well,
oh, it's a collector's item now.
It's lasting better than the airline one might posit.
Is it higher quality than the airline?
It's actually really nice quality. I think it was
That's good.
35 or 40 quid, and it's like really nice soft cotton. I'm actually quite pleased with it.
Is it actually made by Global Airlines, or is it made by Highfly?
I think James Asquith personally stitched it. Yeah. In which case it will unravel as the show goes on.
Oh dear.
Dear.
Hope he's not watching.
Well,
I wouldn't have thought so.
I think he's got enough on his plate at the moment.
Where's Carlos this evening? He's not joining?
No, he's got a night off. He's got another appointment somewhere tonight. So, yes.
I need to knock that down a bit. Yes.
Bear with me a moment. Just...
Also, I found a routine that ends your day with upbeat music every evening.
My Alexa was just asking me that earlier. I said, no, I don't want upbeat music to end the day.
Not when I'm going to bed.
I don't want to rave at the end of the day.
No. I'm just going to do it anyway. Brilliant. Love it.
AI is destroying the world.
Yeah, bear with me a moment. Alexa, shut up.
I'm going to get a pint.
Excellent.
You see, in my studio, I just use switches.
Yeah, I know.
I turn things on and off.
There's a lot to be said for that.
It's never gone wrong.
What, with your actual hands?
Yeah.
Goodness.
Nice.
Yeah.
Heavens. Tanya says, did off Alexa. Yeah, that's a good shout. Yeah. Works for me.
Yes, Dirk, my studio is like a BAE 146. Proper old-fashioned, proper old-school stuff.
It's got meters on it and everything. It's brilliant.
No, this ECAM and...
Small and underpowered.
Oh, no.
Yes, it is. It is, actually. Yeah, it is. Planning on making some changes in the new year.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
That's what Mrs. Nev says too.
Oh, here we go.
Dear.
Oh, that looks good, Andy. What have you got there?
Andy's here, everyone.
I've got, it's Trooper. It's Iron Maiden beer.
Okay.
Oh, very nice.
Brace yourselves, 15 seconds to clock.
Oh, it's lovely.
Tasty.
Here we go. Here we are then. Clock is underway. Good luck, everyone.
And I need more than luck.
Now. Oh, here we go.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Well, hello and welcome to the Plane Talking UK podcast, episode 577. I'm Nev, and in this week's show, British Airways signs a major deal with Starlink to provide every customer in every cabin free Wi-Fi. Qantas Airways' first Airbus A350 1000 ULR for Project Sunrise takes shape in Toulouse, and the FAA grounds all MD-11 and MD-11 freighter fleets pending inspections in the wake of the Louisville crash. It's also easyJet's 30th birthday this week, and we'll have a bit of a chat about that a bit later on. In the military, Airbus Defence has delivered the first A400M tactical transport aircraft to the Indonesian Air Force, and sadly, there's been an accident to a Turkish Air Force C-130, which occurred after departure from Azerbaijan. On the lighter side of things, we have a highly amusing caption competition this week that features Captain Al as the most mentioned person in the comments. I cannot imagine why. And we'll give you some more details about our 600th show, which is going to take place in May 2026. And we've got a brand new competition this week with a fantastic prize to give away. And Nick's going to tell us all about that later in the show. So joining me over in the Suffolk countryside after a little absence because of other things going on is Matt.
Hello.
Matt.
Hi. Hello.
Remember him?
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember how it all works. I'm not going to lie. It's the first time this particular studio has been turned on for about 8 weeks, 6 weeks, I think, something like that.
Oh, it's not doing bad. Then,
yeah, absolutely. So, getting the hang of it. But yes, no, good to be back.
Yes, how you been anyway? What have you been up to?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, busy. Just as you say, been involved in extracurricular activities for a little while. But perhaps more about that another time.
Oh, nice. Okay, well, good for you. Glad to see you back anyway, and thanks for being here. Carlos isn't here tonight. He's off on another appointment, unfortunately. So he's very generously let me take the reins to try and glue it all together with the rest of the team tonight. Also joining us tonight, haven't seen him for a couple of weeks, or at least a week, is Andy. How are you, matey?
Hello. Yes, I'm back. I think 2 weeks ago I was hit with the flu or something horrible. I was in bed, absolutely floored. And then last week, I just got back from New York. I fell asleep and slept through the entire show. Apologies about that.
It must have been that fantastic BA first class cabin experience, probably.
It certainly was, and that was a fabulous experience. Even business on the way out was very good as well.
I never thought I'd ever hear you say that, but no.
I know.
Can I just check that you hadn't put on the show then nodded off, just to be clear?
No, I didn't even get to that point.
No, fair enough.
I sat down at around 4 p.m. and then I woke up at 8:30.
Excellent. Wow. Okay, good skills.
Yeah, and then I spent all last weekend down near Nev's neck of the woods. It was a bit further south around Gerrard's Cross. I was deputising in a band for a friend all weekend. And then I was at an event in Luton yesterday, and now I'm back. Not yesterday, day before. Whichever day
I think
I'm
I'm right in saying that Gerrard's Cross is one of the most expensive places to live in the entire country.
Is it?
Yes.
It was very, very fancy round there, I must admit.
Would be. Yes.
And I had to speak my best Queen's English for them to understand me.
Excellent.
I was going to say, did you come with some subtitles so that they
Yes.
Or
it was a very fun weekend, yes.
Oh, dear. Well, great to have you back, mate. And we've got some great stories, which I think you'll love this week as well. Especially couples specially chosen for Andy to comment on as well. And also joining us from the southwest of England, someone that we haven't had on the show for ages because he's been doing all sorts of stuff, and he'll tell us some of those things, I'm sure, is Nick Codling. Hello, Nick.
Hi. Nice to be back. Good to see you all. And it's been a bit of quite an absence for me, I have to say. So, yes, I feel I must apologise for my absenteeism over the last probably 10 months or so.
Oh, has it been that long? Wow.
So it has, yeah. So I think... I started a new job in January, which turned out to be very draining and tiring, and took up an awful lot of my time. And I'm happy to say that I'm no longer doing that job, so I have a bit more time for doing things for me and things that I enjoy doing, like talking about airplanes.
Now, some a rather ungenerous person in the chat room says that that hoodie is a collector's item that you're wearing.
That's kind of what I was going for. I thought, yeah, for those of you that might not have spotted it yet, I've got my Global Airlines hoodie on. So I bought it ahead of the airline actually doing a flight, and now that they've done their flight and seem to have gone away and their aircraft is parked out in the desert somewhere,
It's got a bit quiet in that department, hasn't it?
It has.
Sorry, Nick, which airline operated the flight?
There we go.
Yeah, I don't think it was Global.
I've still got that hat waiting to be eaten.
Yes, it's probably not very nutritious.
No, indeed. I'll get the soy sauce. That'll help.
Yeah, a bit of sweet chili maybe.
Oh, brilliant. Well, thanks very much indeed for joining us, Nick. And really appreciate you coming on the show tonight. It was great to see you back. And thanks for all your contributions previously as well. Hopefully we'll get some more from you in the future. Yeah. Well, of course, we can't run a show without the chat room. And there's a lot of people in the chat room tonight, as usual. So just running down the list, there's Mazouz. Tanya is going to join us for the first part of the show, but she's off to see Carl Palmer to his Evening with Emerson, Lake and Palmer gig tonight, and so that's rather nice, isn't it? Yeah. So and Travelly Man's in there, Richard Adams, Dirk S is in there, Bill's there from a very snowy Ottawa. The snow has arrived big time. He says it's really messy. We got 15 centimetres of snow, but the temperature is +1 right now, so it really has arrived. Tom Hathaway's in there from the northwest of England. Hello, Tom. Hope you're well. Alan White is joining us from probably Shannon or Dublin, depending on where he's working from tonight. Arnie Carlson's there. Hello, Arnie. Hope you are well. John Falk is in the chat room also. Hello, John. Hope you are well. Masha is in there too. Gosh, lots of people. Sturman's in there as well. Darren Smith as well. Masha, I've mentioned. I think that is everybody. If I have not mentioned your name, I'm sure you will mention it to us. Anyway, so we've got a lot to get through to tonight. And as always, we start with the commercial segment. So off we go.
The captain has turned on the seatbelt light. Please take your seats and fasten your seatbelts.
Well, first story is from flightglobal.com, and it says that Boeing breaks ground on $1 billion South Carolina 787 expansion to boost monthly production. The company's expansion plan includes a new final assembly building in North Charleston to accommodate 787 production positions, production support and office space, Boeing said on the 7th of November when marking the project's groundbreaking. With an area of roughly 92,000 square metres, which is 1.2 million square feet, the new site will be similarly sized to Boeing's current single 787 production facility in North Charlton. Boeing additionally will open a new parts preparation area facility, a vertical fin paint facility and flight line stalls, and add to a site used for manufacturing 787 interior components. The new expansion will allow the site to support higher 787 production rates given the strong market demand, Boeing says. The company now produces 7 787 aircraft monthly, all in North Charleston, and aims to hike output to 8 monthly before the year end and to 10 monthly in 2026. It envisions eventually increasing production to a rate in the teens, Boeing chief executive Kelly Ortberg said late last month. Well, the 787 has proved a particularly strong seller, with Boeing having landed orders for 61 of the jets in 2025 through to September. The company expects to invest more than $1 billion on the expansion project and says the effort will create more than 1,000 jobs over 5 years. Well, Boeing established an operation in South Carolina in 2009 and now employs some 8,200 workers at facilities in the state. It initially produced 787s only at its unionised facility in Everett, Washington, delivering the first of the wide-body type in September 2011. Then in 2010, the company started producing the jets also in North Charleston, where workers are mostly not represented by unions. In 2020, amid the COVID-19 pandemic, Boeing sharply reduced 787 output and announced its intention to stop producing the jets in Everett and only assemble them in North Charleston. Boeing said the shift would save money during a period of weak demand. Well, it's good to see that at least one manufacturer is stepping up in terms of production, because they've got a very big back order, haven't they? And whatever they can do to improve that has got to be a good thing.
Yeah, it's a positive sign to see an investment in facilities as well from Boeing. It's good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that that's been the limiting factor, isn't it, for both the major manufacturers over the last, probably almost since the pandemic, really, and also the component shortages that all aircraft companies have suffered from. It's just production capacity and getting stuff out the door and making sure it's reliable as well.
Am I right in thinking that Airbus has been outbuilding Boeing this year?
Yes, it overtook Boeing earlier this year. I think it was in September of this year. I mean, there's plenty of orders on both sides of the pond, as it were. But yeah, they just can't build the things quick enough. And of course, with the big orders announced at the big air shows and what have you, some of those aircraft won't be delivered until 2029 or 2030 in some cases. So there's a lot of backlog in all the system here. So now
is some of it like the hangover from COVID and stuff, do you think, potentially?
I think there's a bit of it, because if you can imagine trying to, winding down a production facility and then bring it back online, it's not as though the pandemic suddenly finished and everybody threw a switch and off we go again. Then there was this sort of stop-start business that was going on right across the world, actually.
Well, and sort of staff had been laid off and all that kind of thing. So those particular skills have perhaps gone. They're not necessarily willing to come back, and so you've got to start from ground zero again, almost, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely, and train up new staff and recruit. I mean, I think probably both in flight deck and engineering, I would say those are the two biggest limiting factors, and the problems are of recruitment as well, getting enough people that can do the job. That's just a worldwide problem, isn't it, I think?
Getting enough good people to do the job.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, dead right. It's all very well being qualified to do it, but are they good at doing it? Those probably are two different things, aren't they?
Definitely.
But now, talking of things that don't quite work so well, Wi-Fi on aircraft can be a bit hit and miss, shall we say. Matt, tell us all about what BA are up to with this.
Interesting story this way in lots of ways. It's mediacentre.britishairways.com, so it's coming from the horse's mouth, as it were. British Airways signs major deal with Starlink to provide every customer in every cabin free Wi-Fi. So British Airways announced on Thursday last week that its customers will soon benefit from Starlink connectivity. Starlink is a revolutionary Wi-Fi provider powered by the world's most advanced satellite constellation that orbit much closer to Earth than those used traditionally, providing even the most isolated areas with a more reliable and faster internet experience. The airline will start its Starlink rollout in 2026. Once fully fitted, all customers, whichever cabin they're travelling in, will have free access to the service for streaming, working and keeping in touch. This is the latest investment to be announced as part of British Airways' £7 billion transformation plan, a programme that's driven vast improvements across the customer experience since it was announced in 2024. The airline has delivered tangible improvements, including a step change in punctuality and customer satisfaction scores consistently improving improving across onboard service, global lounges, food and drink, check-ins and boarding and customer care. We'll come back to the lounges, I think, in a moment. Sean Doyle from British Airways Chairman and Chief Executive described the addition of Starlink connectivity to the BA fleet as a major milestone in the airline's transformation journey. We're continuing to focus on transforming our customer experience. Launching Starlink on both our long-haul and short-haul aircraft is game-changing for us and for our customers, elevating their experience on board our flights by offering them seamless connectivity from gate to gate. Especially on short-haul, this will really differentiate us from our competitors. With our new Wi-Fi powered Starlink, our customers will be able to enjoy lightning fast, low lag internet from the moment they board to the moment they land, even over oceans and remote regions. It's Wi-Fi that feels like home, even at 38,000 feet. And still to come from BA, I feel like I'm doing a sort of like a teaser for the next part here. It's the airline's much anticipated new first suite, featuring its widest and longest seat and bed, a 32-inch 4K TV screen and adjustable mood lighting in a spacious suite. More new aircraft for 2026, including the Boeing 787-10s, if they build them soon enough, and a brand new app for 2026. There we go.
Cool.
Indeed. I mean, Starlink does seem to be the sort of the way to go, I suppose, really, with a lot of these things for that. I mean, I've been looking at the service myself recently, and the only reason I actually didn't go down that route is you can't have a fixed IP address with them, which took me by surprise.
Is it? So it's a dynamic one, so you get a new one each time you log on? Is that
no, it's like mobile phones, where it's one IP address is shared amongst multiple outputs, and then you use the packet data identifier to know where it's going, essentially. So very difficult to do but then I suppose you're going to be an aeroplane, so you're not going to be doing stuff like that. You're not going to be trying to set up your CCTV cameras or anything like that from the aircraft, are you? So
you say that.
Oh no.
Now, of course, BA's IT department, shall we say, has got a bit of a history of some challenges with appalling apps and appalling log-on experience and all the rest of it. And I just hope that they get that sorted out as well. I mean, they're talking about a new app, but as well as the Starlink thing as well, because they cannot afford to have another series of big or poor IT moments. I mean, I should worry little. I mean, I'm flying twice a year now, probably. Yeah. But for those folks that used to fly like I did twice a week, that is a real downer. And the reason that a lot of people, where apart from lounges and the whole club business, a lot of people went to alternative carriers because they're just fed up with the poor quality of communication.
And I think I seem to remember one of the problems was I know from when we had a long chat with Captain Al a while back. I think some of the problem is there are multiple layers, so it's not just as simple as changing a ticket. Because if you want to change a ticket, there's 3 or 4 different parts of the system that have to be notified of that change in order for it to work right the way across the board. So it's not like one system fits all. There's 4 different systems, like in the ticket chain, if you like, to make any form of alterations, and it doesn't take much for that link to go. So, but perhaps they've updated that now. I mean, we're talking. This was back in sort of COVID times, where they weren't sort of doing things. So, I mean,
Andy, how did you get on your flights?
I have to say, and this is going to shock you, I was actually very impressed with BA on this trip.
Whoa, I'm glad I was sat down for that. Blimey.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, we checked in online, but still ended up with paper boarding passes when we dropped the bags. I mean, I still don't understand why they bothered doing that, but never mind. Lounges, even at Heathrow, were a lot quieter as well than I was expecting.
Oh.
Especially because we were going from terminal so Newcastle to Heathrow straightforward. It's just a Spire lounge at Newcastle anyway. But in Heathrow, they even told us, go over to terminal 5B, which is where you'll be flying from. The lounge will be much quieter there. And it was lovely. Cooking food in front of you as well, making burgers for you as you wanted.
Oh, wow.
Awesome. It was really good. The Wi-Fi on board as well actually worked, because I was messaging you guys from the flight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, I was very impressed by that. And then coming back, darling, we're in first. So
I say.
got to use the Chelsea lounge at JFK, which was fabulous. But I did go in the business class lounge, the Soho lounge, and again, it wasn't rammed, nice and spacious. Everything was very nice in there. And again, back in Heathrow, it didn't seem as busy as it usually was. I don't know if this is due to the new changes with the club, but the Concorde room was very nice. Enjoyed time in there as well. It's overall a very pleasant experience, lounge-wise, and on board the aircraft as well. The service was fantastic.
Gosh.
Which is a far cry from where it was last time I flew with them. Granted, it was the end of the pandemic, and they were just putting things back together. But yeah, really impressed.
Are we on the 777-300 both ways?
No, 777-300 going out, 78-10 coming back.
Oh, nice. Yep.
Yeah.
Lovely. But, well, something I'd never thought I'd hear you say is that you've had an excellent experience on a transatlantic BA flight. That is
yes.
Yeah.
Make a note of the date, because you might never hear it again.
No, that might not happen. But now, talking of luxurious things, of course, Singapore Airlines are well known for this. And Nick's got a story all about their current lounge improvements.
Yeah, so this one comes from travelandleisureasia.com. And the headline is Singapore Airlines' new Silver Chris Lounge sets the bar for airport luxury. So Singapore Airlines has unveiled a new, larger first-class lounge at Changi Airport's Terminal 2, measuring 1,050 square metres, 11% bigger than the previous Silver Chris Lounge. Located on level 3 near the departure gate E, the lounge can accommodate around 130 travellers and features dedicated zones for dining, work and relaxation, along with upgraded restrooms and shower facilities. Singapore Airlines First Class Silver Chris Lounge is part of its 45 million Singapore dollar renewal project for lounges and marks the completion of the first phase. Access to Singapore Airlines First Class Silver Chris Lounge is available to first class customers, Solitaire PPS Club members, and first class customers travelling on Star Alliance member airlines. Beyond packing signature elements like wingback chairs, productivity pods, and immaculate furniture, the lounge also harbours inclusive elements like seamless step-free access, I guess for wheelchair users, braille signage and hearing loop systems. The lounge will feature its time-honoured culinary favourites like Silver Chris signature laksa and chui quay. How are we pronouncing that? I'm not sure. There's also an option of delicacies such as stir-fried XO carrot cake with bean sprouts. Bean sprouts and carrot cake. I mean, I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
Hawaiian chicken burger with crinkle cut fries.
Now we're talking.
Yep. I mean, prepared a la minute by an in-house chef that will be served directly at the table. The buffet menu will feature international flavours such as herb roasted chicken, cacciatore. You're really getting me on the pronunciations today. Healthy options like Mediterranean quinoa salad and Lion City staples like the onde cake.
Ooh.
They also feature pre-flight resting pods. If you want to get some shut-eye before boarding the flight, head to a semi-private resting pod featuring soft lighting, an adjustable Poltrona Frau reclining armchair and sliding doors. Travellers will get pillows, blankets and eye shades. So there we go. I mean, I think it's fair to say that Singapore has always sort of led the way with its sort of luxury travel offering.
The only thing I would say, the only thing I would say with this, I just popped this picture up here. That it just looks like an event's going on. Do you know what I mean? Like somebody set dressed it for the afternoon. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it looks lovely. Don't get me wrong, but it's sort of fake palm trees and like all that. It's just I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Oh, last time I
Given
flew
that,
through-
sorry, go on, Nev.
No, after you, wasn't it? Go on. Sorry.
I was going to say, given that Changi has a sort of quite a strong reputation, doesn't it, as being a very architecturally quite innovative, and it's got its big fountain and the kind of rainforest theme, and it's very well known as being a kind of the airport as being a destination in its own right. So yeah, you'd certainly expect them to have somewhere that's quite fitting of that. And I certainly remember, I mean, the first time I travelled to Changi, the highlight for me was the koi pond, which was very nice. And yeah, so it's always been somewhere that you'd associate with having a sort of quite a luxury offering.
Yeah, last time I was in Changi was 2004, on my way to the Melbourne Grand Prix back in the day. And it was spectacular even then, although the 13.5 hours in economy on the way to Changi from Heathrow left a bit to be desired, and on the way back as well with a screaming child right behind me. But
is that the day that you decided business class was the only way forward? Nick?
I think it was. Yes, at that point, I'm going, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not doing it anymore.
Absolutely.
But no, I mean, Singapore's got a great reputation, hasn't it, at the lounges and also on board the aircraft as well. Now, talking of long haul stuff, Andy's got a great update, I think, on this next story, Andy.
Yes, this is from aerospaceGlobalNews.com, and it's Qantas Airways' first Airbus A350-1000 ULR for Project Sunrise takes shape in Toulouse. Qantas Airways has confirmed that its Airbus A350-1000 ULR, designated for the Project Sunrise programme, is now on the assembly line at Airbus's factory in Toulouse, a key milestone in the carrier's plan to operate non-stop ultra-long-haul flights from Australia to London and New York. Key airframe components, including forward, centre and rear fuselage sections, they're all very key, have been joined, and the wings, tail section and landing gear are in place. The aircraft will shortly be moved to a new hangar for the installation of engines and flight test equipment ahead of an extensive test flight programme beginning in 2026. These specially configured A350-1000s will operate non-stop flights of up to 22 hours, connecting Australia's east coast to the UK and US for the first time, saving up to 4 hours of travel time versus one-stop alternatives. The Project Sunrise name pays homage to Qantas's historic double Sunrise World War II flights, which stayed airborne long enough to see two sunrises. Qantas first announced plans for Project Sunrise in 2017. It conducted test flights to research the physical impact of ultra-long-haul travel on passengers and crew, and to design a cabin experience suited to flights that will require nearly a day in the air. While Airbus and Boeing both competed to supply the aircraft for the extra long journey, Qantas ultimately placed a firm order for 12 Airbus A350-1000s in May 2022. The aircraft for Project Sunrise features an additional 20,000-litre rear-centred fuel tank, enabling the 22-hour mission. The fleet will be configured to 238 passengers rather than the typical 300 plus, optimising space and comfort for ultra-long-haul flights. Cabin design was developed in collaboration with industrial designer David Keon and sleep science specialists at the Charles Perkins Centre, University of Sydney, based on learnings from the test flights. The airline has included a wellness zone, providing exercising and stretch facilities, hydration stations and specialised lighting to combat jet lag. Passengers who will travel on a new non-stop connection from Australia's east coast to London and New York, the world's longest commercial flight by distance, can expect a cabin built from the ground up for ultra-long-haul journeys with more individual space and more comfortable conditions in all classes. Business class or first for me on that one. I'm not going anything else. That's way too far for 22 hours.
I bet.
Right, here's an operational question then.
Yeah.
In terms of fuel reserve, presumably, I'm guessing that the normal rules apply here.
Yep.
In that they have to have enough to hold or divert or go around and then land with 30 minutes of fuel left as a minimum.
Depends on which authority you're covered by, but you need to be able to do an approach, go around, divert, and have half an hour holding fuel at 1,500 feet above the airfield.
Yeah. But obviously, if they're on the way back to the UK and they see that there's some unfavourable headwinds, they go, "Oh, we're just going to drop into Frankfurt or something,"
Yes, do a tech stop. Yeah,
yes,
and top it up.
Yeah.
Which may cause issues with flight time limitations, but I'm sure they carry a heavy enough flight deck crew to cover that.
Yeah. So what would be the crew arrangement then for 22 hours in the flight deck?
I'd say it's a minimum of 2 crews. Yeah, it would have to be a minimum of 2 crews and probably an extra. So probably maybe 5 crew members on that.
Yeah. Wow. I'd love to try that, One of my... Yes, I would. Yes. I'd like somebody else to pay for it, but I would like to try it.
Obviously.
One of my work colleagues who is based in Perth regularly does the Perth to London route. That's a mere 17 and a half hours, I think it is. And he says that's about enough. He says after about 16 hours, that is enough. So, but he regularly is in Melbourne and Sydney as well. So it'll be interesting to see how the folks get on for those extra 5 hours of flying on top of already a very long haul slog.
Do you not sort of reach a point though where it's not like it's just like whether it be 10 hours or 15 hours at the end of the day, that once you've reached a sort of like 9 hours type thing, it's almost irrelevant as long as you're fed and watered. Do you know what I mean?
I suppose. I mean,
sorry,
the flying boats that used to take days to get places, people used to spend all their time on there and they survived it, didn't they? So maybe we're just too coddled now in the modern world and we want to get places quickly. Obviously not as quick as what's behind Nev there on the wall, Concorde used to be.
No.
Well, yeah, that's not going to get very far, is it? It tried that.
No.
Darren Smith says maybe the 1000th show we could do a Qantas Heathrow to Sydney sector. What a great idea. I'll look forward to your contribution, Darren, for that. That would be marvellous. But yeah, ultra long haul. That is, it's not new, is it? Because obviously the Singapore and others are doing them as well. But this will be the first time we've had such a huge distance involved.
Quite curious to know about how they're kind of laying out the cabin in terms of number of passengers and what the sums are in terms of how many people you can carry versus how much fuel you're having to take. Because I know that's obviously one of the considerations with the Perth route is that is all business class because they can only take a certain number of passengers. I'm right in thinking.
Yeah.
They're carrying 238 passengers on a 350-1000, the longest stretch. And on most low-cost carriers who fly 321s, they carry 230 on a 321. So that's a lot of extra space. So that's quite a nice spread, depending on how many. Because I don't think it said how many business or first or premium or whatever it's going to be laid out like. So it might still be a bit crammed at the back, but loads of space up front for the posh seats. Don't know, but it's still quite a good low load factor. So they'll be charging a fortune for this flight.
Yeah, exactly. That was my next point, was that the ticket prices are going to reflect that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it does sound as though they've built this from the ground up, obviously based on the regular A350-1000, but rather than just sticking a whacking great centre fuel tank on board, they're doing a lot more inside the cabin as well by the sounds of things from an operational point of view. Yeah, fascinating. Right, well, this next story is going to create some comment and discussion, I'm sure. It's on flightglobal.com, and it says that the US FAA grounds the MD-11 freighter fleets pending inspections in wake of the Louisville crash. Well, the FAA has issued an emergency directive which prohibits further flight until the aircraft are inspected and any necessary corrective actions are carried out. It has taken the action after a UPS MD-11F shed its left-hand GE Aerospace CF6 engine and pylon during its takeoff roll on the 4th of November. The cause of the detachment is currently under investigation, says the directive. Whilst the cause has not yet been determined, the directive nevertheless states that the unsafe condition is likely to exist or develop in other products of the same type design. Well, the FAA's measure follows Boeing's recommendation to the 3 operators of MD-11Fs in particular that they suspend flight operations with the type as a precautionary step pending safety assessment. US operators UPS, FedEx and Western Global Airlines all retain an active MD-11F fleet with a total of some 60 aircraft. The fleet's both GE Aerospace CF6 and Pratt & Whitney PW4000 powered trijets. Earlier this year, FedEx disclosed that it planned to retain the MD-11Fs in its fleet to 2032 after opting to push back their retirement by 4 years. Boeing says safety is the airframer's top priority and is recommending the suspension whilst additional engineering analysis is conducted. It has not elaborated on the nature of the analysis or the time frame. Well, bound for Honolulu, the UPS aircraft departing Louisville's runway 17 right briefly became airborne without the lost engine, but came down in an industrial area a few seconds later. Whilst the FAA emergency directive also applies to the passenger version of the MD-11, the type was withdrawn from passenger services more than a decade ago, and KLM was the last operator of MD-11s and halted flights in late 2014. Well, there's been plenty of stuff on YouTube and other platforms about this. Andy, what's your initial thoughts here?
I don't know. Did you speak about this last week?
Yes, we did, briefly. Yeah, this is the latest update, though, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, firstly, it's far easier to ground a very small fleet because there's 60 aircraft, but I think Global have only got 4 of them flying at the moment. So there's about 50 active. It's far easier to ground a small fleet than it is to, say, put a ground stop on all 737s across the world. And I think they've been very safety, what's the word I'm looking for? Risk averse. That's what I'm looking for here with this. There's clearly something maybe in the pylon somewhere that they're not happy with. It's far easier just to ground all the fleet. It doesn't cause that much of an impact on these companies involved. It's very sad what happened. From the stuff I've seen, engine 1 detached well after V1, and then due to the fire, engine 2 in the tail stalled. So the poor guys, they had no chance. They had no chance at all. This aircraft is not designed to fly on one engine. It's only designed minimum of 2 engines, and it'll have been extremely heavy, probably near max all up weight with the amount of fuel it had on board. And it's a very tragic event. There was a lot of talk around, did the slats retract as well? But in video footage that's appeared from dash cam on the road across the end of the runway, it's clear that the slats were still extended as it started to lose lift. A very, very tragic event. It's not the first time something like this has happened to the family, and by family I say DC-10 onwards and stuff like that. And a lot of things have been learnt from that as well. Because on the American Airlines 191 flight that lost a left engine, and the slats sadly retracted on that as well. But ultimately they will get to the root cause of this. They've got the recorders, which is great. They can find out what the problem is, and if there is a big problem with the pylon, I doubt we'll ever see the MD-11 fly again, because it wouldn't be economically viable for these operators to fix it when these aircraft are coming to end of life now. And I will add as well, it's incredibly sad, the loss of life in this. I believe there's the 3 on board plus a total of 12, including ground casualties as well, which is incredibly sad. But we will learn something from it, which is the good thing. But it's always sad that something tragic like this has to happen first.
Do you think that, obviously we don't know, the METAR is there and all the details are there of the conditions on the day, I'm sure, but do you think that this was a situation where there was quite a long period of time between V1 and rotation of the aircraft, and that kind of puts the crew in a bit of a no man's zone if they have a bit of a moment between V1 and rotate speed? Yes,
absolutely. There will have been. There'll be a time around from some videos that I've seen, there's a time around 5 seconds from the call of V1 to the incident happening. Now, on a flight deck, no flight deck will say to you on your warning systems, the engine is detached. it will just tell you what it sensed. And in this case, it probably sensed fire, failure. But never in a million years do you think that the engine's gone and departed the aircraft. So they'll have training will have kicked in at that point. As soon as the alarm goes off, you pass V1, okay, let's control the yaw. At rotate speed, let's rotate. But sadly, at rotate speed, they'll have lost the second engine as well. And then you're in no man's land. There's no calculations for this. The aircraft has no performance. It's down to Newton and luck at that point.
Yeah, you were right about you saying that lessons will be learned, but from an operational point of view, from what I've read so far, the crew did absolutely nothing wrong, and they were performing as you would expect them to perform in that situation, but circumstances overcame them, obviously.
It's very sad, yeah. Once that occurred and the second engine stalled, the flight was doomed and they became passengers, sadly.
Yeah.
And we have to remember, this is an engine failure is a rare event anyway. An engine detaching from a wing is a 1 in a billion chance, probably. But then also losing another engine, like the odds stack and stack and stack and stack. This is a once in a generation incident that's occurred.
Nick, have you got any thoughts on that?
Well, I was going to mention that a few of us had been talking on our WhatsApp group earlier about the Blancalerio video, which was very informative. I watched it a little while ago, and yeah, it mentioned about the number 2 compressor stall, which my brain had thought, oh, number 2, that's the engine on the other wing, but of course it's a trijet. So yeah, I hadn't really kind of got my head around why there might have been a compressor stall on number 2, but yeah, Andy, you mentioned there that was likely because of the fire, so that makes a bit more sense.
Yeah. So
yeah, like you're saying, it's such a incredibly unlucky and rare occurrence. So yeah, it will be very, very interesting indeed to see what the cause of that pylon detachment is. I've seen quite a lot of sort of things featuring engine bolts and engine fixings have been on social media over the last few days, and yeah, obviously these things are engineered to only come off when we want them to. So yeah, for something like this to happen, it's a really curious occurrence.
Has there been a similar, has there been a scenario where an engine has detached from an aircraft?
Yes.
in the modern era?
Well, the most famous was 1979, American Airlines 191, on the previous derivative of this, the DC-10. I don't know of any others, to be honest, not on modern aircraft that it's happened.
No. There was also some discussion on the Blancalerio about the one of the compressor rings failing, but
yeah, an uncontained engine failure.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I'd have said to have an engine failure that causes so much vibration and load on the pylon that it causes the pylon to detach. I find that difficult.
Yeah. So,
I'd expect, because an engine's only attached to a pylon with two bolts, I say, they're big bolts. They're designed to, they're frangible at certain loads. And then the pylon's connected to the wing with another 2 bolts. You'd expect if it was the engine, then the engine would have just separated, not the pylon as well. But they found the pylon, which says to me that this happened at wing level, not at engine level.
Mm-hmm.
But again, don't know is the answer, really. We'll have to wait and see what the recorders said.
Yeah, both John Falk and Darren Smith have just reminded us in the chat room that the other big moment where there was loss of 2 engines in flight was the LL 747 over Amsterdam.
Oh, yes, of course.
Which hit the block of flats, and of course the loss of life, as tragic as this one was with UPS, it was a great deal more, of course, in the Netherlands. I'd forgotten about that, I must say. So
yeah. Again, but lost both engines, and then the slats retracted as well, I believe. Again, you don't know what's gone on with the hydraulic systems here, because there's no stop valves for losing the pylon and everything else, because it'll have ripped all of the plumbing for everything.
Yeah.
So
So we'll just
forgive my naivety here. You were saying that like the recorder data and all that kind of thing will all be there. I mean, obviously the conversation in the cockpit, I'm sure, will be a challenging one to listen to. But in terms of like data, I mean, realistically, what data are they going to glean from thing in an event like this, other than essentially a catastrophic failure of some description?
You've got every engine parameter,
Right,
on all three engines. You have hydraulic pressures. There's a lot of electronics on the MD-11, so there will be a lot of data signals. There's control inputs, all of the system inputs as well, so it'll be able to see what systems went offline when and how. And the experts from Boeing, who were MD engineers, will be able to analyze it all. And the data is very minute as well. It's either second or half a second intervals, depending on the recorder that was on it. It can even be lower than that as well. So there will be a lot of data in there, so they can sort of see what happened, and also the actual flight path as well from the FDM system. And FDM systems are incredibly clever. They can show you every movement and control surfaces of the actual controls. There's so much info in these things, it's unbelievable.
gosh, okay.
Well, we'll have to wait for more updates from the FAA and the NTSB as well, won't we, to see what's happening. But sticking on the subject of engines, Andy, there's some news from Rolls-Royce next.
Yes, this is from flightglobal.com. Rolls-Royce has revealed a new build standard for the Trent 1000 engine, the XE, which incorporates improved parts that will double time on wing alongside inclusion of the manufacturer's total care support package. An option on the Boeing 787, where it is offered against the GE Aerospace Gen X, the Trent 1000 has suffered from poor availability issues for a number of years, linked to premature degradation of certain parts, particularly the high-pressure turbine, the HPT blades, and the US FAA certification for the first batch of redesigned components under the Durability Enhancement Programme was achieved in the summer, although in anticipation of the approval, the manufacturer had begun incorporating them into new build engines from the start of the year. EASA gave clearance for the improved blades as well, and that was obtained in 2024. Rolls-Royce says the XE standard engines, X is a nod to the preceding 10 model and E stands for enhanced, will deliver a transformational benefit to our customers against their current experience of operating the Trent 1010 powered 787s. Key upgrades include new HPT blades, which see cooling increase by 40%, plus updates to the combustion system, fuel spray nozzles, and engine electronic control software. Lufthansa is the first customer to receive a new XE engine, having taken delivery of a 787-9 in early November. A second phase of improvements is planned to be introduced early next year, Rolls-Royce says, boosting time on wing by a further 30%. These enhancements include advanced coatings on combustor tiles, HP nozzle guide vane film cooling changes, HPT blade weight reduction, and a Trent XWB-84 style combustor and turbine interface redesign. This is like reading the military news, this. Coating will be optimised on the nozzle guide vanes and HPT blades. Testing is ongoing. A certification for the Phase 2 upgrades is expected in the first quarter of 2026. Rolls-Royce maintains that all in-service Trent 1000 engines will have received the upgraded Phase 1 parts within 2 years, with the rollout to be completed during 2027. Phase 2 upgrades will then be installed on every engine at the earliest shop visit opportunity once the package becomes available. To meet that 2-year target, Rolls-Royce has increased supply chain output for the Trent 1000 up 33% so far this year and raised MRO capacity by 1 quarter. Rolls-Royce has also taken a decision to include the total care support package as standard with the XE, which provides cost and maintenance predictability. This, coupled with the technological improvements, make the Trent 1000 XE extremely competitive, says the company. And the improvements for the Trent 1000 are part of a £1 billion investment by Rolls-Royce to boost the durability and performance of its entire portfolio of in-production Trent engines.
Wow.
Well,
okay.
I mean, this is pretty standard for an engine, I must say. For an engine that as it develops over time. The RB211 had many packages and changes and stuff like that. The CFM56, which has been in production for a very long time, had they call them tech insertions, lots of different tech insertion packages to improve performance and environmental aspects, clean up the engines and stuff like that. But it's really cool that they're doing it, and hopefully improve the reliability on this engine as well. And to keep it on the wing for that long is phenomenal.
Because the 1000, there were several grounded for quite a long time, weren't they? If I seem to remember, wasn't Heathrow littered with them for a little while they were having to ground aircraft and stuff, or was that a different engine type?
Yeah, no, that's correct. Norwegian as well, when they were going through their troubles, they had loads parked up while they were waiting for parts for the engines and just engines in general as well.
Yeah.
Well, good sign though, isn't it? There's technology improving things. Now, Matt, this is a good story, I think, because I was actually there on the day 30 years ago.
Were you?
I was just in the plane spotter area in the car park.
Okay.
But I was actually there.
Wow, love this. Okay, yes, it's a bit of a milestone, I think. To be fair, it's UKAviation.news, and the headline is easyJet celebrates 30 years since its first flight with a crew who were all born in the same year. easyJet has celebrated 3 decades in the skies in true orange style by recreating its very first flight from London Luton to Glasgow, this time with a crew who, like the airline itself, were all turning 30 this month. Taking off exactly 30 years to the day since easyJet's maiden flight in 1995, today's anniversary trip brought together the past and present of one of Britain's biggest aviation success stories. Joining the crew on board was retired Captain Fred Rivet, the pilot who commanded that historic first flight on the 10th of November 1995, carrying 122 passengers on what was then a bold new experiment in low-cost air travel. It's hard to believe it's been 3 decades since that first takeoff from Luton to Glasgow, said Rivet. Back then, easyJet was a complete disruptor, and to see how it has grown into the UK's largest airline and helped millions to travel is something I'm incredibly proud of. When easyJet launched, its slogan promised fares for the price of a pair of jeans. 30 years later, that promise still holds true, and in fact, tickets are cheaper in real terms than they were in 1995. A flight that once cost £29 now averages around £26, a drop of more than 50% when adjusted for inflation. Chief Executive Kenton Jarvis said that the anniversary marked more than just a company milestone, but also a social shift. easyJet has made it possible for millions to travel easily and affordably, opening up opportunities that once felt out of reach, he said. From first holidays abroad to spontaneous city breaks, we've been part of people's most important journeys, and we're excited to see what the next 30 years will bring. A nationwide study commissioned for the anniversary reveals the true cultural impact of easyJet's rise. 9 in 10 Brits say travelling abroad has become simpler and more frequent compared with their childhoods. More than half of today's 18 to 35-year-olds took their first overseas holiday on easyJet, while 83% say they now visit destinations further afield like Morocco or Egypt, thanks to affordable fares and more direct routes. The research also highlights how the airline has helped spark new travel habits. 2/3 of respondents said that accessible local flights have made spontaneous weekend breaks possible, while nearly 3/4 feel more confident travelling solo because of flexible low-cost fares. So apologies, that sounded a little bit like an advert there, but it is a huge milestone nevertheless. I have to ask the question though, does anybody know the answer to this? Who got there first? Was it Ryanair or easyJet?
Oh, Ryanair long before.
Really? Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
Ryanair existed in the late mid-80s. Very different airline back then.
Yeah.
They did.
Yes.
But he's something for you. When it's talking about a price for a pair of jeans,
yeah,
the £29 was for a price of a pair of Levi's back then. Do you know how much a pair of Levi's cost now?
Oh, it's going to be 100 and something or other, surely.
No, standard pairs are around £50.
Oh,
so
okay. Yeah.
And at £26, it's half the price of a pair of jeans now.
Yeah, it is now, yeah, absolutely.
I seem to remember the aircraft that they used, was it a 737-300, Andy? On the
200.
A 200, was it? Gosh, yeah, that's right. Wow.
It was, in fact, it wasn't even on easyJet's own AOC. So it was a company called Airfoils AOC with 2 aircraft that were rented from, ironically, GB Airways, which easyJet later took over.
Yeah.
So there's hope for Global yet then, if the model worked all right for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very little aeroplane compared to an A380.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, okay. Fair.
It's a great story, though.
It is,
They've done really well over the years. And I must say, from a business travel point of view, a lot of my colleagues, well, and myself actually, we've all worked for companies where companies' travel policy is you have to use the cheapest method possible. And in many cases, they would be with a low-cost airline. But actually, the connectivity that's brought, certainly within the European region, has been absolutely fantastic. Okay, there are some flights that are a bit early and some that are a bit late, so they might not suit you. But the cost differential is absolutely massive. And they've really made mass travel available to domestic, and business type passengers all the way across Europe, both easyJet and Ryanair, and to a certain extent, people like Vueling as well and others, So,
we've all done. In fact, Mum is doing exactly the same. She's flying with them over to Ireland for Christmas. So she's flying over to I think it's Belfast. I think she's flying into, if memory serves.
Yep, nice.
So, but
lovely stuff.
We've all done it. I went to Egypt, I think, with easyJet a number of years ago.
Very
Sharm
good.
El Sheikh when it wasn't complicated.
Yeah, well, quite exactly. Now, talking of, actually, we can go to our Southwest England correspondent for the next story, Nick.
Yes, this is a nice local one for me. So, and a little airline that I've been like to try and get on myself at some point. So this story comes from UKAviation.news, and the headline is Skybus takes over Cornwall to London route following Eastern Airways collapse. So Isle of Scilly-based Skybus has been awarded the Public Service Obligation, or PSO, route between Cornwall Airport, Newquay and London Gatwick following the collapse of the previous operator, Eastern Airways. Skybus will commence the flight on the 23rd of November, initially with a daily return trip, with plans to increase this to twice daily on weekdays from the 14th of February next year. Jonathan Hinkles, managing director of Skybus, said, "We're thrilled to launch this new service between Cornwall and London Gatwick. It's not just about making travel easier for passengers, it's about creating opportunities for businesses, for tourism, and for the local community we serve. As a Cornish company with more than 40 years of aviation experience, we understand how critical dependable air links are for our region. We're proud to step up to operate this vital route. Our focus is on rebuilding confidence and offering reliability, and we look forward to providing passengers with the service they deserve. None of us underestimate the challenge ahead to build the Newquay Gatwick route to be a thriving cornerstone of a local economy once more. We're wholly confident that we can achieve this through Skybus's record for reliability and service." Amy Smith, managing director of Cornwall Airport Newquay, added, "We're delighted that Skybus, our longest serving airline partner, will be taking over the vital London Gatwick service later this month. We know just how important a regular, reliable service is between Newquay and London for our passengers, and we look forward to working with Skybus to deliver just that going forward." So, interestingly, the route will be operated by a 70-seat ATR 72. So, at the moment, I think their fleet is entirely Twin Otters.
Yeah,
and they fly over me very regularly indeed with their regular route from Exeter down to Land's End and the Isles of Scilly. It'll be an ATR 72 leased initially from Blue Islands before a fully Skybus branded ATR 72 joins the airline mid next year under an agreement with Origny Air Services. The public service obligation route is an air service that receives government support to ensure vital regional connectivity. These routes are typically not commercially viable on their own, but are considered essential for economic, social, or territorial reason, linking remote or underserved areas to major cities. Under a PSO, airlines are awarded contracts, often through a tender process, to operate the route in return for a subsidy that offsets operational costs, guaranteeing a regular and affordable air links for local communities.
I mean, these services have got to be vital for said communities, surely, I would imagine. You know, so I mean, because the ferry's slow, isn't it? There's no two ways about it, and sometimes not possible.
Well, so obviously the ferry runs from Scilly to Penzance. This particular route is from Newquay, which is quite a bit further up Cornwall. So it's, I mean, I guess, you know, if you live down in Penzance or Truro or somewhere down there, you know, really and truly, if you take Newquay out of the equation, you've got to be driving up to either Exeter or Bristol in order to be able to fly anywhere. Otherwise, you know, your main option really is to get the train. So,
how long's the drive, Nick?
The drive from
there to London, from Penzance to London.
From Penzance, I guess you'd probably be looking at 5 or 6 hours. I mean, from me, where I am, I'm in Paignton in South Devon, and it's, you know, it's a good sort of 3.5, 4 hours really to get up to London from here. So yeah, you can easily add on another 2 hours to that once you're down at the bottom end of Cornwall. But yeah, it's, you know, I think Newquay's been quite busy over the last 5-10 years, and they seem to be adding more and more connectivity. Yeah, so in a way, I'm not surprised to see this. Yeah, and I guess in some ways for Skybus, it's almost a bit of a no-brainer, because you know, if it's kind of a subsidised route anyway, then, you know, you're almost getting the government to pay for the operation for you.
Well, that's it. And somebody had to take it over after Eastern collapsed, because they were operating it. And I think it's a very shrewd move as well to sublease it out to an operator that has the experience on the ATR.
Yep.
Because the Dash 8 is not really used anymore in the UK. There's plenty of ATR, as well as a couple of ATR operators, and there's no point in trying to bring that in-house, because then that wipes out all of the profit from it, essentially. Yeah,
but no, good that they've picked it up, isn't it? And yeah, regional connectivity, especially. I mean, when you've got, you know, you've lost an important airport like Plymouth. I know we're going back some time now, but the Southwest has really come under some, you know, some hard times, isn't it, in terms of good regional connectivity to the capital cities?
Yeah, I mean, we do have BA do fly a fairly infrequent route to London City. You know, that's from Exeter. Exeter have been trying to kind of build up, doing more and more. They're certainly doing more with low cost carriers now. In fact, this summer, in fact, I flew from Exeter. But yeah, it is definitely a bit of an issue if you live further down in the West Country. So, you know, the main hub really in this part of the world is Bristol, and you know, there is a really significant offering in terms of different destinations that you can fly to from Bristol. But yeah, it's definitely a problem for people that live further down there.
Yeah,
there's also several domestic routes as well from Newquay. I know there's a route to Manchester, and then that opens up a lot of international travel as well. The Manchester route's in the summer, I think.
Yes, you do tend to see quite a lot of that with Newquay in the summer. With, you know, it is handy for people that want to come down for holidays, and you know, you get quite a lot of music festivals and stuff like that, so people coming down at weekends. So yeah, it is really popular for that, and I can totally see why, because it's, you know, Newquay's a great place to get to. So
yeah, absolutely,
it's a great airport to fly into as well.
I remember a very long time ago, before it was a commercial airport. This was probably when I was in my early 20s, and I was doing a camping trip, and I camped on a farm at the end of the runway. And this is when it was still an RAF base, and I got woken up at 2 a.m. by a tornado taking off. It scared the bejesus out of me.
That's brilliant. And actually flying in there I've flown in there in a 320-19 many times.
Oh wow!
Once you get out of the sort of Cardiff area, you're in uncontrolled airspace, and they just go, do what you want. Are you visual? Yep, go for it. Do what you want. Land.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, there's, on that point, there's actually quite a lot of training flights that happen down there as well. So we get quite a bit up here at Exeter and quite a bit down there at Newquay as well. So, yeah, a lot of the airlines will go down there, I guess, for that reason, because it's a much less congested airspace.
That's it. And the type of training Nick's talking about is base training, where you have to do your 6 takeoff and landing. So it's just bashing the circuit constantly in a
we get that quite a bit with BA, with the Embraer. They're pretty much daily down at Exeter. So, yeah.
Great. Now, this story is going to cause some difficulty and some conversation, I am sure. I was talking to Alan White about this afternoon, and it's on the irishtimes.com, and it says that Aer Lingus pilots have voted no confidence in the airline's chief executive, Lynn Embleton, and chief operations officer, Adrian Dunn, on Monday in a row they say had safety implications. Well, their union, which is the Irish Airline Pilots Association, IALPA, sought talks with Miss Embleton on Monday ahead of an extraordinary general meeting to discuss interference from senior non-flying management in the operation of an aircraft whilst in flight. Well, at the meeting, IALPA members unanimously backed a motion stating that Aer Lingus pilots, in their capacity as frontline guardians of aviation safety for all and in their promotion of safety first at all times, had no confidence in Miss Embleton or Mr. Dunn. Pilots said afterwards that huge numbers attended the meeting, which was in North County Dublin. Well, the dispute between the airline and its pilots blew up after Aer Lingus last week suspended a captain at its Manchester base, where cabin crew have been striking for higher pay. The company maintains that the incident is the subject of both an investigation and a fact-finding exercise. Well, the captain flew an Aer Lingus aircraft from Barbados to Manchester early last week. There were no passengers on board except cabin crew who were not on flying duty, known as a positioning crew. The captain told the crew to sit in economy class after takeoff. Its manager complained directly to Aer Lingus in Dublin. Well, Mr. Dunn contacted the aircraft mid-flight to say that the positioning crew could sit in business class. The captain did not comply with this. He made a safety report after landing, following which management told him late last week that he was suspended. But IALPA maintains that Mr. Dunn had no authority to instruct the captain on where the positioning crew should sit, as this had implications for the aircraft balance and therefore its safety. Under aviation safety rules, the flight commander is the sole person responsible for the safety of the aircraft and everyone on board, including crew and airline staff. Rules also state that positioning crews should remain in the seat assigned to them and should not move between classes. Aer Lingus said that the motions passed by IALPA members had no effect, whilst branding them inappropriate. There are 2 separate ongoing processes underway: a safety investigation following receipt of a safety report and a fact-finding process following concerns raised by an employee, a statement from the airline said. Both of these processes are being run in accordance with the procedures applicable to them, and it's important that the confidentiality and integrity of the processes are not subject to any outside interference. The positioning crew did not take part in the cabin crew strike at the Aer Lingus Manchester base from October the 30th to November the 2nd, as they were not members of Unite, which was the trade union involved. The pilot suspension relates to the complaint that the airline says is the subject of the fact-finding exercise. IALPA figures dismissed any suggestion that their members brought industrial relations issues on board the flight, and airline sources say positioning crews normally sit in business class. Well, there are 2 separate ongoing issues underway, as I've mentioned, and the story goes on. But, wow, that's quite a big moment, Andy, isn't it?
I think it's a bit of a storm in a teacup, to be honest with you. I mean, Well, firstly, why didn't he just let them sit business? What does it matter? It was after takeoff. Weight and balance only matters on takeoff. It'll have been an Airbus 330 on that flight, trims itself. It's fine for the rest of the flight. I think the problem here is I think it's the UK part of the airline is already in dispute with head office, and tensions are already frayed, and people want to make a point out of something here. I'd agree that you don't interfere with the commander's decision on something over safety, or tell them to do something, or try and tell them to do something they don't want to do with regards to actually flying the aeroplane. But where the cabin crew is sitting, come on, guys, we're all adults. Let's just get on with it, huh?
Yeah, so obviously with the lightly laden aircraft, from a passenger point of view, the takeoff and landing of the critical phases, presumably. I remember on a BA A320 going from Heathrow to Edinburgh back in May 2020, so just after the start of the pandemic, just as some of the flights were coming back on. And there were 7 of us on this aircraft, and we're all sat on one side of the aircraft, and the skipper comes over, the PA said, fellas, could you just move yourselves around a little bit, because the aircraft's so badly out of trim, we're not going to be able to depart like that. Once we're flying, it's not a problem at all. But so yeah, I get that, but there's a point here, isn't there? The editor's decision is final, surely, when it comes to the commander of the aircraft.
Yeah, of course. Captain's decision is final. That's the law. You are the commander of the aircraft. Once the doors are closed, it's your jurisdiction. You're the boss. But again, he could have just got the message and gone, okay, cool, he sends that message and done nothing. And then the cabin crew have kicked off about it.
So would you say there's been some
thing.
unnecessary acceleration of the problem here?
Yes, absolutely. This has been the touch paper that's caused all sorts of other chaos. Yes. People are very angry, it seems, at management, which does happen often.
Yeah. Oh, dear. Nick, any thoughts on that?
No. Sorry. No, yeah, like you say, people very often like to be angry at management. So, yeah, I don't know. Storm in a teacup, maybe.
I think management pilots, you got to watch them, haven't you? You know. Oh, sorry, Andy, that's you, isn't it? Yes.
Not that kind of management, just training. I stay away from all of that other stuff.
Yes. No politics in the world of Andy. No.
Well, that's the end of the commercial news segment for today. Thank you very much for everybody's contribution in the chat room for that as well. It was brilliant. Well, next up is a brand new competition. And as Nick is back with us this week, it's his competition. So over to you, Nick.
Yeah, well, so I'm going to, for those of you watching on YouTube, I have a special bag here in front of me. Now, in the last year, I've been very busy indeed. And one of the things that I've done is moved house. So these have actually come with me. And last week, I undertook the exciting task of cleaning out the loft. And I came across this and realized now what I need to do here. So I've been sitting on this for a while because I thought actually it would make a really good PT UK competition prize. So this is something that was given to me a while back by a friend, and it's a Qantas Airways pajama set made by the White Company. It's a size large, and inside we have a very nice pair of slippers, and we've got some nice cotton pajamas in there as well. Now I should state I haven't worn these. So yeah, if anyone fancies a go at this, I think it'd be nice for them to go to a deserving new home and get a bit of use. So back in August, I took a very nice trip across to Normandy with the intention of going and seeing all the D-Day landing beaches and finding out a bit more about the history of D-Day and what occurred in Normandy. And obviously, as an aviation fan, I was quite interested to learn about the sort of aviation aspect of that. And of course, one of the big things that needed to happen in order for the D-Day invasion to be successful was to try and get as many troops into the region as possible. And the way in which they did that, one of the ways which helped, was to actually fly troops across in glider aircraft. So they were towed across the channel, and then they flew on their own and landed sort of behind enemy lines in some cases. So my question is, of the two types of gliders that were developed for use by British and American forces for transporting troops across the English Channel to Normandy, what was the name of the British glider and how many of them were built?
Ooh.
So what was the name of the British glider used in the D-Day invasion and how many were built?
Ooh,
so I was lucky enough to see a replica while I was over in Normandy. I believe there's one left in the world, and it's in Sussex, I think. But yeah, if you can get your answers in, send them to podcast@planetalkinguk.com.
Forgive me, and I'm sure nobody will mind me saying this. Google is your friend if you want to be sure of knowing what the answer is. So don't be afraid to sort of, we just want to get everybody to get involved, and yes, as I say, fabulous little cheeky prize up for grabs.
Yes, just don't post anything in the chat room, please.
No. Yes, leave some mystery to it. But.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, well, it's brilliant, isn't it? Thank you very much indeed, Nick, for donating those to whoever the lucky winner is going to be. So we'll read out the winner. We'll put the winners into a hat, or the correct answer into a hat, rather. And then we shall draw the winner out on next week's show. So podcast@planetalkinguk.com is the address to write to with your answer. Brilliant. Thanks, Nick. Appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem.
Talking of competitions, we don't have a retro airline ad of the week this week because Carlos is off, but we do have a caption competition which has been running on our Facebook page, which has been extremely well attended and very popular, I have to say. And there's a definite theme here. So, Matt, if you can bring up the picture of this for us, I'd appreciate it. So the picture this week is a rather crowded looking aircraft with lots of passengers wearing a bit sort of vestigial looking oxygen masks, I would say.
That's one way of putting it, yes.
Yeah. But there's been no shortage of comment at all, so we're just going to read them out between us. But there is a common theme running through this, as you'll see as we go along. From Tom Hathaway, Tom says, "This is your captain speaking. Welcome aboard this 48-hour service from London to Sydney. Unfortunately, due to a mix-up with the catering, all meals on board are courtesy of Air India. We have, however, taken some precautions and hope you have a pleasant flight." Tom.
Andrew Hall has been in touch. "This is your Captain Al speaking." I see, I note a theme. "This is your Captain Al speaking. I have deployed the oxygen mask for your convenience, as I have already had a really bad curry last night, and my is on fire. We wish you a pleasant trip. Flight time is 4 hours. Enjoy."
And then the next one's from John Luke, who says, "Standard passenger issue before the closed cockpit door policy for when Captain Al was flying."
Poor old Captain Al.
Oh, brilliant. Nick, you got the next one?
Yeah, next one's from Gordon Bennett, who says, "Okay, who's got the fart spray?"
Darren Smith says, "Oh my God, the captain's had a Vindaloo."
John Falk says, "Impact of smell from last week's caption. This pic spread far and wide to this set of passengers."
Kevin Lerman says, "Everyone ready for a trip with Captain Al?"
Poor old Captain Al.
So we've got one from our good friend Dirk S. Confronted with the dawning age of electric aircraft, new UK startup Jet Ascent presents its first prototype system providing the scent of jet fuel to passengers on aircraft of the future.
Now, I know many people here, I can say many people will be quite excited by that, I think, on this podcast.
Oh, we love.
I'd be
We love
extremely
a smell of
worried
Jet
if you
A1
could
in
smell
Norway,
fuel in
don't
the flight deck.
Fair, yeah. It's a strong argument.
we? Oh dear. Bill Aronek says, "Here we all are, ready for our red-eye flight to the sleep apnea sufferers conference."
Oh dear. Oh dear. Bill also says that customers were not amused by the free Halloween masks handed out by Ryanair on the 31st of October flight.
And finally, Geocacher Chris says, why is everyone blaming, you guessed it, Captain Al?
Indeed. Yeah.
That fella's got some answers,
He has, yeah.
doesn't he?
Yeah.
That fella's got some reputation.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It's more of a reputation, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, dear.
No, very, very funny indeed. Thank you very much indeed for all of your contributions. We didn't read all of them out because some of them we couldn't read.
We
out
couldn't,
for
yes, absolutely.
reasons of decency and what have you.
But well done anyway, yes.
Thank you very much for contributing. Brilliant. What a love. Next up, well, I'm just going to give you the details of our 600th show, which many of you have already replied to. Thank you very much indeed. And some have even paid a few quid as well towards it. So that's even better. So the date of the 600th show, folks, is Friday the 22nd of November. No. I'll start that again. I can't even read the date out properly. The date is Friday, the 22nd of May, 2026. Friday, the 22nd of May, 2026, next year. The venue is the Imperial War Museum at Duxford at the Airside Suite, which is part of the conference centre. Myself and Mrs. Nev went there last week to do a quick recce, and it is magnificent, overlooking the airfield. There is an entry fee payable for this. You have to pay us by the 1st of April 2026, and it is £60. You can pay us by the PTUK Patreon or PayPal account, and details of that are on the supports the show banner, which is on the front page of our website. Now, as part of this, you get, well, they say it's a complimentary 1 hour admission to the museum. Now, I have subsequently found out by talking to our event host there that this isn't actually policed. So read into that whatever you wish. There's also going to be a couple of special guest presentations, as in previous years, details of which to be announced. There's free dedicated on-site parking for our guests as well, along with tea and coffee breaks during the day with cookies, fresh fruit and a buffet lunch included in the entry price. There itself, there's plenty of reasonably priced accommodation, so we suggest you book early if you require it. It is down to you to book your own hotel. Carlos and I are staying at the Duxford Hotel, Cambridge South, which is right next to Whittlesford Station. And although that might be a little bit noisy, possibly, the advantage of it is that it's just 3 minutes drive from the Imperial War Museum. And also that station has got very easy access to London's Liverpool Street as well. Dinner in the evening is a pay-as-you-go thing, so you're paying for yourselves for your dinner, but it's at the Red Lion pub, which is directly opposite the hotel, and they also have rooms available too. And you'll have to pre-order your food, and the restaurant will need that information by the 30th of April at the latest. Now, obviously, this is some way out, but we thought we'd give you as much notice as possible, so that if people want to come, they can book it. If you would like to come, please send your request to attend to podcast@planetalkinguk.com. We'll send you a confirmation email after we've received your payment as well. And can you also let us know if you have any dietary requirements for lunch, so that we can inform the catering team at Duxford. And there are limited spaces available, obviously. Now, we're planning on sort of starting the whole thing around about lunchtime. I would imagine something like 12:30. So if you want to go and have a look at the museum, you can do that during the morning. And then we'll start our live show probably around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And that'll be finishing around about 5 at the latest, I would say. And then we can pop over to the Red Lion for sort of 6:30, something like that. So if you would like to come, podcast@planetalkinguk.com. I'm doing all the logistics and organising for it. So if you've got any questions, just send them to me in an email and I will be happy to oblige by replying. So thank you very much for everybody's suggestions that came through about where we should hold the 600th show. And it's not that far away, is it? I mean, it's May of next year, but we're already on 577 now. So it will come round quickly. And the nice thing about it, hopefully, is that the weather will be reasonable as well by then. So that'll be great.
Oh, that's it. You've done it now, Nev.
Ruined. Yeah.
Well,
Anyway.
I shall definitely be in attendance because this is far enough in ahead for me to sort my diary out. So I'm looking forward to it.
Are you sure 6 months in advance is okay, Andy? Is that right?
It's on the cusp, yes, but I've just checked and it is free, so that's good.
Awesome.
Excellent. And Nick, we'd love to have you along as well if you can possibly make the journey up.
Yeah, just had a little look at my calendar, and it looks like there's nothing in there at the moment. So yeah, see what I can do.
I've got one item in my calendar, and that is this event. So
Lovely.
Just trying to think if there's anyone that flies from Exeter up to that neck of the woods, because it's a heck of a drive.
it is, yes.
Well, what you need to do is go to Newquay in the opposite direction and fly on Skybus to Gatwick, and they get the train. No, just
Planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yes. Do the whole thing.
Try and do as many vehicles as possible. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Challenge accepted.
Oh dear. Well, that's brilliant. So anyway, that's the plan. We'll have more details as the weeks go by. But if you would like to join us, please do drop us a line. That would be fantastic. Right, that's it for all those housekeeping bits and pieces. Next up, it's the military news.
What's up, bogeys 13550, Angel 16, heading 340. Okay. 108 bogeys.
And Nick's going to take the first story about the A400M.
Yes, this one comes from zonamilitar.com, and the headline is Airbus Defence has delivered the first A400M tactical transport aircraft to the Indonesian Air Force. Airbus Defence and Space delivered to the Indonesian Air Force its first Airbus A400M tactical transport aircraft during a ceremony held at Halim. Oh my goodness, here we go. Hold tight, everyone. Perdana Kusuma Air Base in Jakarta. There we go. Didn't murder it too badly. The aircraft bearing the registration A4001 was received with the traditional water salute, marking a new milestone in modernization and expansion of Indonesia's military airlift and strategic capabilities. The event was presided over by the President and Chief of Staff of the Air Force, alongside senior officers who highlighted that the arrival of the A400M represents a qualitative leap in transport, rapid response, and inter-island support capabilities. The aircraft will enhance efficiency, both in conventional military operations and in military operations other than war, such as humanitarian assistance, evacuation, and logistical support during natural disasters, missions of particular importance in an archipelagic nation like Indonesia. This first delivery stems from a contract signed in November 2021 between Indonesia's Ministry of Defence and Airbus Defence and Space, covering the acquisition of two A400Ms with an option for 4 additional units. During the handover ceremony, the President announced that the government will begin negotiations to purchase more aircraft of the same type to further strengthen the country's strategic airlift capability. With this delivery, Indonesia becomes the 10th global operator of the A400M, joining the air forces of Germany, France, Spain, and the United Kingdom, Turkey, Malaysia, Luxembourg, Belgium, and Kazakhstan. The new aircraft will be assigned to the 31st Tactical Air Transport Squadron, based in the aforementioned aerodrome, which is already conducting training in cooperation with Airbus technicians. The second aircraft is scheduled for delivery during the first half of next year, completing the first phase of the program. So in the show notes here, it says that the approximate unit price for an Airbus A400M is between 150 and 175 million euros.
They are such an iconic aircraft, though, aren't they? I mean, I remember seeing I think it was the A400M at was it Farnborough 2016? And I'm pretty sure it was a 380 and an A400M that were doing a little bit of a sort of dance together in the skies. It was really quite incredible.
They have a very distinctive sound.
Yeah. Sorry, Andy, to talk over you there. We get a lot of them down in this neck of the woods on training sorties, and the sound is magnificent. They really are distinctive.
Yes, we get a few over the house here from Northolt and from Bryce Norton as well. And you don't even need to look up in the sky to see what aircraft it is, do you? Because there's nothing at all that sounds like it, I don't think. But now, next story is with you, Andy, and I hope Carlos doesn't get any ideas.
Yes,
I bet you will.
That. And also, thank you for this, Nev. It is not full of acronyms and difficult to pronounce American Air Force divisions, so I like this one. This is from the BBC, and it's how aircraft fans' Garden Spitfire drew crowds. And as we said, don't get any ideas, Carlos. During the coronavirus pandemic, when there was little to keep people entertained, David Price gave his village on the outskirts of Carlisle plenty to talk about. A marquee appeared in his garden with the lights often on late at night, but there were no illegal parties going on in the house he shares with his wife Trish. He was in fact building a replica Spitfire in the middle of his lawn, and word got out fast. When the tail started poking out at the end of the structure, he had to place a stepladder next to the garden's hedge so he could talk to people who had made the trip especially to see his masterpiece. Don't let common sense spoil a good idea. It was really that lack of common sense which sealed me into doing this for 4 years, he joked. When he gave up his building business in 2018, he was busy writing aviation books, but he was keen to find something to do with his hands. It was a trip to the Battle of Britain Memorial in Folkestone, Kent, that inspired him to build the aircraft. They have a replica Spitfire standing by the cliff, and I stood next to it and thought, that would fit in my garden. Mr. Price, 62, from Court Hill, has a lifelong love of aircraft and thought his experience in the building industry would help. It's built out of wood underneath, and then there's fiberglass on top. The core skills were sort of hovering somewhere in the background, he says. As the plane was taking shape, it was also taking over more and more of his small garden. One summer, we actually put the barbecue stuff on the wing as a table, he says. It just sort of engulfed the whole side of the house. Once the lockdowns were over, the tent disappeared and the Spitfire took pride of place in Mr. Price's garden, attracting hundreds of visitors, he says, which at times was bizarre. He says, we've had people drive long distances to come and see it. It was nice, but sometimes a bit of a strain because maybe you were going out and trying to get in the car and suddenly this party of people would turn up and they'd want to go and look at it and, well, that was it. When Storm Dudley hit in 2022, it damaged the beloved aircraft and Mr. Price said it dawned on him that it had to be moved. As a volunteer at the Solway Aviation Museum, based at Carlisle Airport for more than 30 years, Mr. Price says he knew how unaffordable a real Spitfire was for an independent museum. It's about $2 million for the aircraft before moving costs. He also used his expertise to help rebuild the Blackbird Beverley, the last surviving example of RAF's largest transport plane. That's going to keep you busy for some time, and there's a lot of painting to do, he says.
Wow. What an incredible
look
project.
At that.
It's
beautiful.
Stunning, though, doesn't it? I mean, on first glance, you would never know that wasn't the real thing, would you? Other than the fact, I guess, it's a bit smaller.
And well, in that picture, it's missing one elevator.
Okay.
But apart from that,
here we go. Right.
If you look at the tail mat,
it's got for his collection.
Yeah.
He'd have had to take a chunk out of his probably living room wall there to get that.
Yeah,
bit
true. Yeah, Carlos has already been. That's why it's not there.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. But no, I suppose we've given Carlos a bit of stick there, but he does specialise only in parts of aircraft, not normally the whole thing.
I've got to say, I'm very jealous. During the pandemic, I was having to look after a 2-year-old. I'd much rather been building a massive model aeroplane in my back garden.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Gosh.
Still.
But, what a fantastic piece of work, isn't it?
It's great.
Oh, brilliant. Now, a bit of sad news coming up. It was just announced today on airlive.net that a Turkish Air Force C-130 Hercules military transport aircraft has crashed after reportedly breaking apart in midair over Georgia. The Turkish Ministry of National Defence confirmed yesterday. The aircraft, registered 68-01609, had departed Azerbaijan earlier in the day and was en route to Turkey when contact was lost near the Georgia-Azerbaijan border region. In a statement, the military said our C-130 military transport aircraft, which took off from Azerbaijan en route to Turkey, has crashed on the Georgia-Azerbaijan border. Search and rescue operations have already begun in coordination with the relevant authorities. Local emergency services and military rescue teams from both countries have been deployed to the area, and there was no immediate information about the number of people on board or possible survivors. The C-130 Hercules is a long-serving tactical transport aircraft used by the Turkish Air Force for troop and cargo missions, humanitarian aid and logistical support. Both Turkish and regional authorities have launched investigations to determine the cause of the crash. We're not going to show any pictures or video of this, but some of you may have seen online what happened to this aircraft. And it's absolutely horrific, the loss of control the crew experienced with this, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been a catastrophic failure because from the footage I've seen, the wing box section is completely separated from the tail and the front. So it's a catastrophic failure, sadly. And I don't think anybody will have survived that.
No, and it's absolutely horrific to see it, and obviously these things are very rare, but when they happen, it affects a lot of people, of course, doesn't it? And they'll be doing some pretty serious investigations into that, I would think. So, sorry to end the show on a slightly somber note there, but that's what happened yesterday. Anyway, that's the end of the military section, and that's coming towards the end of the show. So let's have a quick round robin, see what people are up to during the rest of the week. Matt, what's your plans for the rest of the week?
I don't really have any at the moment. Got some visitors here this weekend, so looking forward to that. Not a lot really. Just sort of a bit more of the norm. Hopefully, very soon.
Yeah, nice. Andy, what's going on in your world this week?
There's a lot going on. I'm working from home tomorrow. Then sadly, I've got to go to Liverpool for a funeral on Friday. And then on Saturday, in the wonderful city of Durham that I live in, every other year, although sadly this is the last one, they have a huge art light installation all around the city. So all sort of different light sculptures and things like that, and on the cathedral and stuff. It's beautiful. It takes a few hours to walk around it all. So we'll be going there on Saturday early evening as it gets dark, and then probably a few pints. And then next week I'll be in the hotel studio as I continue my tour of other training departments. I'm off to visit another airline next week to see how they do things, and I'm going in their A350 simulator during some of their recurrent training to see what they get up to.
Ooh,
so that should be fun.
That sounds fun.
Wow.
Yes.
And
make notes.
Are you going in there in a sort of a listening capacity and learning, or are you going in there to wag your finger and say, "No, mate, you're not doing that properly"?
No. As I'm not a member of that airline, I cannot possibly do that. I'm going to sit and observe.
Interesting.
For 2 days, yeah. So that'll be good fun.
That is genuinely quite interesting. That's sort of like, because I suppose because I presume you're all flying a similar aircraft, obviously. But I'm sure it'll be quite fascinating to sort of see. Well, there might be stuff that you might like pick up from them and vice versa, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, that's the whole point. It doesn't matter on the aircraft type, really. It's about how they deliver things and how the instructions delivered and how feedback's given and stuff like that. It's more that side of things to see what we can learn from each other.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Love that.
Fascinating stuff. No, brilliant. Nick, what's how's your world at the moment? You sort of in between jobs currently?
Yeah, I'm taking some time out at the moment, so quite nice and chilled out actually. So in between clearing out the loft last week and coming up with our competition prize, I've been installing a new Apple CarPlay in my partner's car. And yeah, I think tomorrow there's going to be a gap in the rain, so I'm actually going to take the motorbike out and go over to Exmoor and go and see if I can scare some sheep.
Oh, nice. Yeah, some of that rain has been a bit relentless coming up from the south coast, hasn't it?
Yeah. I had a nice trip over to see my son on the Isle of Wight at the weekend, but yeah, got very soggy on the way home, shall we say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not been the best lately.
No. Well, thank you very much indeed for joining us tonight, Nick. We really appreciate your contribution, and thank you for going up into your loft to get the pajamas down as well.
Pleasure. Yeah, it's no, I've missed coming on, so it's been really nice to see you guys, and yeah, I'll endeavour to be back more often.
Yeah, well, that's brilliant, and thank you for everything that you've done for the show as well, because I know you used to contribute a lot in terms of doing the show notes and the preparation. It's a lot of work, isn't it? So
it is, and yeah, I will certainly be trying to pitch in a bit more in coming months if I can.
Thank you very much. No, that's brilliant. Well, I'm not up to a great deal, I don't think, in the next few days, which is a nice change. Nice that things have quietened down. What's happening? Oh, I've changed my pension provider, so that's going to be interesting. So that I might be on the scrounge to the PTUK coffee fund when I find out I've not been paid this month, and
Absolutely.
something's gone wrong with the account system. That because what could possibly go wrong?
You can always rely on an accountant.
Yes. But I tell you what I did do today. I haven't done this for ages, and went upstairs to the Tesco cafe and had a very nice full English breakfast this morning.
What?
It was brilliant. I've not had one there for a very, very long time indeed, and it was nice and quiet as well. So that meant that it was just Sue and I, more or less.
Special occasion, or just felt?
It was a Wednesday.
It was a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What more could you need?
Well, I've also had some weird digestive problems in the last couple of weeks, which have just about gone away. So I thought, right, now is the time to test it out. Right. Can it survive the Tesco?
And how are we
breakfast?
now?
So far,
so good.
We're okay. Tomorrow morning might be a different story.
Could be a different conversation. Lovely, excellent. Oh well, there we are.
I like that. The test is surviving processed meats. I like that. That's very good.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm on board with that test. Absolutely.
Me too.
It's also, I found it extremely boring when they suggested a liquid diet for 2 to 3 days. And make it water mainly.
No. That's not a liquid diet.
No, I know it's
There's no calories in it for a start.
No.
Where's the fun in that?
For weight loss, it's phenomenal.
Award-winning, yes. Yeah. Mind you, so is disagreeing with one's Tesco breakfast. That can also have a similar effect. But...
Yes, very much so. But
no,
so far so good. But
who'd have thought it would be Nev dragging the tone down? What happened?
There you go. Well, I just kept the theme going from the caption competition.
Very true indeed.
Anyway, let's talk about how you can get in touch with the show on Facebook, X or Instagram. Just search the social media platforms for Plain Talking UK. Podcast at plaintalkinguk.com is the email address if you would like to get in touch that way. That's also the address to write to if you would like to take part and attend our 600th show in May of next year. Our website, of course, is plaintalkinguk.com, and the WhatsApp number +44 7446 975 214. That's +44 7446 975 214. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, of course, and you'll get notifications when we go live. Make sure you give us a like just by clicking the thumbs up. That always helps the algorithms, I think, in the land of YouTube. And you can join the conversation, of course, in the show, in the chat room as well, as many people have done this evening. Just go to youtube.com and search for Plain Talking UK. Of course, we do have some running costs as part of the media serving costs and the website hosting cost as well. So thank you very much indeed to everyone that contributes. And you can help us do that by going to the first page of the website where it says support the show and just click on the Patreon or the PayPal payment method. So if you feel that you are able to contribute, we would be very grateful to receive your contribution. And thank you very much for all the folks that do. So I think that's about it for this evening. Thank you very much indeed to Andy. Brilliant conversation and contribution as ever. Thank you very much indeed.
No worries. It's been a pleasure.
Nick, thanks very much indeed for joining us. It's been great to have you on board again. Really, really nice and very pleasant indeed. And
Thanks, Nev. Nice to be back.
glad you got that hoodie on as well.
Yeah,
That's
good.
that's going to be a classic. That could be worth some money.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, don't wear it out. I think it could be a collector's item.
My retirement fund.
Yeah.
And Matt, thanks very much indeed for firing up the PT UK studio again for us. That was it went pretty well too, didn't it?
Touch of don't spoil it.
Yes.
Honestly, he's not satisfied with having put the carte blanche on it, tucking it down with rain on the PT UK on the meetup. Yeah,
pressing those buttons, don't I? So,
absolutely.
But and we'll be back same time next Wednesday, 7:00 UK time. Thanks very much indeed for everyone for watching tonight. Hope you have a great weekend and the rest of the week, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.
And there we are, in the bag.
Lovely. Wasn't it nice just to talk about aviation for nearly 2 hours rather than about the BBC, which seems to have been...
has there been something going on, Nev?
Honestly. The trouble is when you're retired and you spend too much time watching the 24-hour news stuff, it's just been wall to wall, hasn't it?
I don't know if I probably shouldn't mention it, but I was very surprised. I didn't realise until today that the thing that they're losing that everybody's losing their mind over was actually from October 2024.
Yes.
I genuinely didn't know that. That completely. Anyway, I'm not going to allude to it any further. But yes, very very strange decision by everybody involved.
And you, if you'd seen any of the coverage today, Matt, you would have been extremely cross with some of the broadcasting standards. I'll put that in inverted commas that we saw.
As in, Nev would like some, please.
God.
I know.
They just need to stop it. Even Bill's saying in Canada, we're hearing a whole bunch about it, even over here.
Really? Gosh.
They just need to stop it, don't they?
Yeah, I know. Well, so he seems quite angry about it, doesn't he?
I tell you what is missing, though. Do you remember when we used to have, I mean, maybe not on the regular broadcasters, but there used to be on the satellite channels some aviation programs. I mean, like weekly ones.
Was there?
I mean, we're going back a while now, but you know, there were a few.
I mean, Carlos still likes to watch his aviation disasters when he's on a flight. He still likes to do that. Yeah. That's his usual favourite thing. Is he'll find it, and also I find it slightly fascinating that stuff like that is often available on the in-flight entertainment.
Yeah, that's a bit bonkers, isn't it?
It's not for me. Yeah, I'm usually watching like a back series of Scrubs or something. You know, just something that makes me laugh out loud.
I used to love all the kind of the documentaries about Heathrow and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you don't get stuff like that anymore.
Also, when they used to do the air shows, you know, the Farnborough Air Show, you'd have Raymond Baxter, John Hutchinson, and you know, all the rest of them doing reporting from there, and it was fantastic, really nice.
You get the occasional nod to it these days, like with like local reporting, don't you? So sometimes if it's something that it'll be picked up by BBC Local or ITV Local, you know, and sort of played out.
Yeah.
They just don't do it anymore, do they? Well, I suppose air shows are disappearing as well, sadly.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is that.
They're not as prevalent as they once were. They're trying to resurrect the Lowestoft air show at the moment. There's a big campaign going on to try and do that. They did it in Yarmouth a couple of years back, the weather let us down a bit on that one. Otherwise, I think that could have been. But it always made sense to me to do something like that over the sea.
We used to have.
Yeah.
We used to have at least the UK's biggest free air show at Sunderland. That was awesome. It was all out over the sea. It was fantastic. And that's gone now.
Yeah. Well, same as the Lowestoft one. I don't think it came back after the Harrier dropped in the sea, did it? I can't remember. But
I think
you see that. On.
I was going to say it was.
I'll talk.
Sorry.
Go on, Nev. No, go on.
I'll shut up. That's the best thing.
No, not at all.
No. I was just about to change the subject to something Nev would like. An audio-visual thing here. These Bose headphones that I'm wearing because I've lost my AirPods. You're not going to like the first bit. I went all the way down to the house, through the kitchen, into the downstairs toilet. It's about 25 metres away, and I can still hear you.
Wow.
They're brilliant, aren't they? The range they've got is fantastic.
On Bluetooth.
I had no idea we'd been on a journey together. How exciting.
We have, yes. You've all come with me on a journey.
Oh, quite the journey.
Luckily, no built-in microphone.
Oh, there is.
No, thankfully I'm using this
Yeah, I can say it turned off, unfortunately.
Yes.
I did that. That was that. I was doing a bingo once, and I'd forgotten that the one of the presenters had got a radio mic attached to them, and so they merrily went off like I was in the middle of calling the numbers, and then we could suddenly hear somebody going to the loo. It was the oops. Never mind. Yes. Needless to say, I'm very careful about closing faders nowadays.
Was the number you called out number 2?
It was. No. Number 1 all the way, I'm afraid.
Oh, right.
Family show, dear. Family show.
Yes. Yeah.
A very long number 1.
Yes, indeed. Quite. Yes,
I was just thinking about the air show conversation. Obviously, the little documentary that you and I did, Matt, earlier in the year with Jonathan.
Yes.
As we sat down and we talked about what had happened at Shoreham and all the rest of it, there's still a massive public appetite.
There is
for good quality air show, but unfortunately, because of that and other things as well, the authorities are extremely risk averse to it.
And I think that's the point, isn't it, Nev? I mean, that's the thing. I mean, it was, and this is why it's so frustrating, isn't it? That, they always say that the minority spoil it for the majority, don't they? And I think this is a casing example of that, isn't it? It's, as you say, everybody's now become quite risk averse as a result, and understandably so. I mean, because that was an awful event. There's no way of dressing that up anything differently. And, it was tough to have that conversation with my friend, Mr. Warner, and sort of to hear firsthand like what he'd been through and all that kind of thing. So I do sort of get it, but also I'm cross and angry and sad about the fact that it's that one numpty, if you like, is has literally changed air shows forever.
But again, that's the nature of the regulator. They can't just let it go, sadly. And I see Darren says these days you have aviation live streams. Yeah, it's very true. I don't want to sit and watch A320 after A320 land at Heathrow, Manchester, Bristol. I couldn't care less about that. I want to see some rare aeroplanes in the flesh tearing around the sky.
Yeah. I fear you may be in a slight minority there on that one. Because they get some ridiculous numbers, don't they? The big jet
they
TVs.
do, yeah.
Is it Air Live, the one over at Manchester, something like that, or Airline?
Yeah,
Airline.
And I get it. You love aeroplanes, and it's not your life; it's your hobby. Cool, that's fine. But for me, I'd rather go and watch some horrible old rare jets tear around the sky, making as much noise as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's not an air show unless you can hear a Merlin engine screaming its heart out.
To me, an air show these days would be hearing an RB211.
Fair.
You don't get those at an airport anymore.
No, fair. Yeah, fair argument.
What about air shows down in your part of the country, Nick? What's there these days?
Well, in fact we have the Torbay Air Show, which is May Bank holiday. It's slightly frustrating as an aviation enthusiast, because what they do is they sort of they almost use the air displays to sort of punctuate stuff that's happening on the ground. So they will tie it in with a kind of events based around primarily around paint and seafront, and then the air displays are more of a kind of icing on the cake, if you like. So the idea is to kind of draw people into the area to go and spend money on the ground. But that said, there's always a good selection of aircraft on display, and I'm lucky enough that I only live half a mile from the beach myself. So yeah, it was pretty nice walking out the front door earlier in the year and seeing a Lancaster flying over at 500 feet. And yeah, we do get the red arrows down here as well. And there's quite a lot of air displays down on the south coast, and a lot of the aircraft base themselves out of Exeter. So a lot of the time, actually, as an aviation enthusiast, the best place to go and watch is actually to go to Exeter and watch them take off, go and do a display, and then half an hour later they'll be back again. And had a very nice instance of that when I was at Exeter with my son, and the red arrows came back in, flew in formation down the runway, split off over our heads, and then sort of flew back around and sort of did a circuit to go and land one by one. So yeah, it's really cool. And it was actually, you do get quite a lot of aviation enthusiasts down at Exeter that will go and watch that specifically. So yeah, there's quite a bit over in this neck of the woods. So if people are on holiday down in the southwest, it's often worth finding out what's going on, because there are actually quite a lot of different displays in the different sort of coastal resorts.
Yeah, no, that's good to see these. Sorry, Andy.
You get a lot of interesting stuff in Exeter. A friend of mine, a very old friend of mine, I've known for many years, he's an air traffic controller at Exeter, and he's quite often sending me pictures of the random stuff that comes in there at times. There was a 767 parked down there for a while recently, for I think it was Drake or somebody like that.
Yeah,
world tour.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was sort of painted in kind of a sky and cloud kind of paint job. Yeah, it looked pretty cool. That was down there for about a week or so. Yeah, and it was parked up right by the perimeter fence, so it was quite easy to go and see it.
That's cool. Was it a 200 as well, a stumpy one? I can't remember.
I think so. Yeah, it was pretty old, if memory serves me, but I'm sure you'll be able to find it on the internet with the.
I'll just go back to me mate's pictures.
But yeah, I mean, mainly it's kind of TUI, Ryanair, and then all the kind of. So we get quite a lot of stuff, quite a lot of ATRs. So Dublin, the Channel Islands, that kind of thing. And then obviously the sky buses that we were talking about that fly down to Land's End and Scilly Isles. But there's quite a bit of private aviation, quite a lot of biz jets. So yeah, it's reasonably busy.
In fact, sorry, it was a video he sent me of it taking off from the tower. Yeah, it was a 200.
Oh, wow.
Right. Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there she goes. Look at that. They are magnificent beasts, aren't they?
You can tell it's empty. It doesn't take much runway. Look at that. Just off.
Nice.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's amazing. I was at the... where was I? Not the Radisson. One of the hotels that's right at the start of 27 right at Heathrow, and I can't remember which one it is. And I was there with Alan White, and we were having lunch there, and various things were taking off, and then suddenly it would be a very loud noise, and it would almost certainly be a 767 from United that was making the racket. It's just amazing how much quieter the bigger, more modern stuff is as well.
My son and I went and stayed in the Premier Inn at Terminal 4 back in August, and we had we upgraded to one of the fancy rooms, which was nice, and we did actually have a runway view, and yeah, it was pretty interesting that even when you're kind of lying in bed, the only aircraft you could really tell were the old 777s, because the rest of the new modern stuff was just so quiet that it was the triple glazing filtered it out. But yeah, you could still make out those older aircraft.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was in a hotel in Paris a few weeks back, and I was sending. Oh, you must have seen those pictures, Nick, as well, did you? That I was putting in the group out of my hotel window of like 767-400s and stuff like that taxiing past.
Nice.
They're still going, aren't they?
Yeah, it was a good little spot, that room.
Yeah, really close.
With Concorde just over the way as well, one of the Air France ones.
Have you been to the museum there, Andy?
Oh, at De Gaulle. It's at the Bourget, isn't it?
No, my apologies. No, I was thinking of Toulouse. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have been to that museum. It's awesome.
Is it? Can you get to it easily from the airport? Because I was looking at cheap flights down to there.
Yeah. You can get a bus round to it.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I was thinking of taking my son, because we were sort of thinking that would be doable as a little weekend trip.
And it's good now they've built the big building, because a lot of the aircraft was outside for years and years.
Right.
Because you can get on the A300, the B2, one of the original ones they've got in there. It's cool.
Right. Yeah.
Nice. Well, folks, let's let everybody get on with the rest of their evening or day. Thank you very much to everybody for joining us tonight. Been really good fun as always. Thanks, Andy. Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Matt, as well. If you're still there somewhere.
Yeah, very welcome.
Oh, I couldn't see you. That was all. So.
That's the trouble, isn't it? Yes.
But yeah, I hope everybody has a great week, great weekend. We'll see you next week, 7 o'clock UK time. In the meantime, bye for now.